Hello, it's one of those rare opportunities where I cracked my storage chest open, and on the floor I've got two rear differentials. This one belongs to an Infiniti M56, and this one belongs to an Infiniti M45. In case you were ever wondering whether these two parts were interchangeable, or whether you could use one in place of the other as an upgrade or otherwise, the short answer is no, and I'm going to get my tape measure, see if we can make sense of this claim. Okay, so first thing, looking at them, I'll tell you some of the differences in color or appearance is that this one is all aluminum, front and back. This one here is steel, and just the rear is aluminum. That translates to a weight difference of about close to 30, but this one has more parts to it. We'll talk about that. So right off the bat, one of the mounting issues you're going to run into is on the mounting ears. You have maybe 8 3/4 here. Here you've got barely seven, right? So that's one big issue that you'll deal with. On the back, where it mounts onto the subframe bushing, when you look at this, you'll see that this is offset a little bit, just slightly off to the left. When mounted, this is the front of the vehicle. When mounted, that's going to be on the right side. And then here, this is more traditional Nissan. It's not the oldest because way back when they had 2 studs, but this one here with 1 stud on the left side, which is right to us as we look at it, you can see that. Now, if you're looking at this thinking, well, why can't you just switch the rear covers over and make it work? Well, when you look at this line over here versus this line, you'll notice that the housings are different. They're made differently. One, this one here, the axle stubs reside wholly in the front case or the front part of the rear differential. This one here, the 2 cases meet in the middle. So it's a big hurdle to jump over there. The bolt pattern is also different, as you can see, but generally they have some similarities with regards to how you fill the oil on the side there and how you drain it, which is going to be somewhere at the bottom. All right, and then this one here seems a little harder to find. Is this it? There it is. I'm looking at it upside down. Okay, then also when it comes to standardization, both of them usually mount their wheel speed sensors in the back right here. You've got these ears, right? And then they read off this ring on the axle. This one here has the same design, but one of the other differences is that while the 2006 through 2010 V8 has a flanged rear axle, the other one is more like a CV axle. This one does have the joint as well, yes, but it has faces that you can unbolt from each other and then make it work, right? Like that. This one here does not. So that's one of the differences. And I mentioned that, yes, I admit that having this and a few extra bolts is going to weigh a little more, but when I put this on the scale, this was close to 92 pounds. This was 66. You can feel it actually when you're just carrying them around. Otherwise, as I said, whenever you put those axles in, they will have the ABS pickup rings as well. They both have vents on the top. I don't think this one's usually such a big deal. You can make it work. Just make sure it's at the topmost level, basically. Seems like we got some oil to drain here. Yeah, we do. So let me tilt this up. See if we can kind of see if there are any more similarities. The mounting style on the front flanges, on the front companion flanges, as you can see, this is just a 3-hole. This one here is more, on the back, you do have a bushing in the back, don't you? Or rather, a flex coupling. I can't remember exactly how the rear, the drive shaft. joins here. But one thing I do is that I usually save all my bolts so that it's not such a mystery when it comes time to install things back in. Okay, I was thinking, what happened? And both of them are open differentials. That's why you can see them moving in different, well, I guess right now it's fine, right? But when you do this, that was an old school test of checking whether your differentials were open or you had limited slip, right? But when you do it this way, I suppose it can fake the situation. Here, can't really, well, yeah, you see that, but then you have to go on the other side. Yeah, so looking at this here, this one looks a little taller. Let's see if the diameters work out though. Yeah, it installs pretty much the same way, but this one is a little shorter. This one seems to have more poking out at the bottom. On top, this one, yeah, more rubber on this one here, so it's more isolated, different kind of ride. And as I said, more prone to rust here. I believe this is steel. I'm not, yeah, I believe it is. Could it be iron though? Some other kind of, I'm not the best with metallurgy, but yeah, you know what, it might be. Oh, there you go, we caught it. Okay, so I'm doing this video just because, as I said, I usually have these things in storage pretty far, pretty deep, and I believe I shall be shipping that to somebody who needs it. So I figured I'm going to take this opportunity to record in case somebody ever asked in the future, hey, can I do this? There are physical limitations, geared, you know, the internal specs notwithstanding. We're talking about, I believe that has a gear ratio of 3.133. Please check me on that number. This one here is 2.6 maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I know some people don't like the M56 gearing, so they usually upgrade to like G37 style. I'm okay with them. And when it comes to gear ratios, that is determined by the power output, you know, the engine torque, horsepower, the transmission, and the transmission gears. So those are all decisions, and you know, to a small extent, I guess, your tire circumferences. But from the factory, just so you know, those are what the numbers usually are. You know, one's significantly larger than the other one, but yeah, okay. There wasn't really much of a point to this video. I just tried to take records from my own memory whenever I get a chance, and then sometimes I just decide to share these videos. So if you stumbled upon this and you learned something, yay. If you feel like you did not learn something, I'm sorry to disappoint. It wasn't really meant to be a magical video, okay?